What's going on, everybody? I haven't made a video in a past few days, been extremely busy. I got a couple things I want to talk about. First off, here we fucking go again with the gun control. Our government's now trying to sneak this fucking shit through during the pandemic. This is what I was talking about right from the beginning, back in March, in all of my previous videos. Here we are. Right? I said all this shit was coming. I told you. I fucking told you my source was good. And look. Holy shit, why does that keep happening? But I told you. Now hopefully now you guys will fucking listen. Because I got in touch with my source again. Oh, and I figured out the whole Trump thing and what happened and why it happened. And I got some news about that in a moment. But here we are. Fucking Trudeau and the rest of the government. It doesn't matter if it's Trudeau. I'm just... because he's the one in charge, right? He's the one pulling the string. But it doesn't matter because it could be a fucking O'Toole next time. It'll be fucking Ford or whoever fucking... Look at Ontario. They told us that if it went under 1,000 deaths and held there, that we'd be able to open up everything back up. We're now there, been there for a long time, and... fuck, man, I'm telling you, these people don't want to run the system properly anyways. I don't want to see that. So yeah, it's all a fucking sham. It's just so they can fucking implement more bullshit. It's what it was all about right from the get-go. Money and fucking being able to enforce more bullshit on us. And that's why I keep telling everybody, it's going to take a peasant to stand up in order for us to fucking fix things right. In order to put our government straight, I'm sorry, it's not going to take a guy in a suit. It's not going to take a guy who talks perfectly and correctly. And it's going to take a normal fucking Joe or a normal gal. Someone who has just never been part of the system, but yet knows how the system works, knows how the system needs to be and is supposed to be run. Hi, how's it going? But anyways. So, I found out, for those of you on my Facebook who are big Trump supporters, I found out some good news. Turns out, the reason why Trump never took this further, the reason why Trump just let it slide and lost the election, turns out it was pre-planned. Good news for you Trumpers. So, why was it pre-planned? Well, because he already knew he had half the country on his side. But what he was trying to do was get the other side to see the faulty ways of the media and the fucking Democrats and see the corruptedness within that system, within that structure, the monopoly they've created over the years. So Trump has a brilliant idea. All right, let's prove it to them. Let's show them first fucking hand what these people are really about. And sure enough, within the first week, 40-something executive orders Biden signed. And what did all the experts across the board, across the world say? The only time a person or a president or a leader or a king would ever do such a thing is if it was ruled by a dictatorship. So this is Trump's way of showing the other half of Americans, this is what you asked for. This is what you wanted. Now look where we are now. And now we're going back to fucking war, because that's what they're preparing for right now, is going back to war. So, what? Turns out I was right the whole time, huh? And that's the whole message he's trying to fucking deliver to the other side, the leftists, the far leftists. Look, you can have your point of view, you can be different, you can be about the environment, all this stuff. But this is greater than all of us. It doesn't matter left or right. This is just a corrupt system that he's unveiling. This has nothing to do with Democrat, Republican. It has nothing to do with fucking... No, this is the years and years he sat back. And you can go back on all the media you want. And you'll see even back when he was, I think, 30-something. But even back then, when they talked about him running for president, he said, this is a big monopoly that's being built. This is a big corrupt system. Like, if I join it, it's going to crumble. As he was warning everybody. And sure enough, he joins it, crumbles it. They all start panicking, doing their stupid little shit. And boom, we have what we have. But now, it's time to show the other half of the Americans what it means to go their route. To show them the error of that way. And sure enough, here we are, right? Fucking more and more people, thousands, are going online publicly announcing they completely regret voting for Biden. They should have voted for Trump. What does that tell you come next election, folks? So he knew, okay, well, if I do 4 years now, sure, I'll lose the next 4 years not being president, but then I can go for another 8 if I decide to. Right? The guy's not fucking dumb. He didn't get to where he is in life because of fucking he's dumb. Come on, people. I don't care if you like him or you don't like him. I don't care if you're fucking... He's not fucking dumb. Anyways. So it was all big pre-planned. This is a lesson, man. This is fucking... You know what? I need a break from the fucking harassment and the break from all the bullshit. And you know what, America? You need to see what the fuck is going on. Now you're going to see the corruptiveness that Trump has been speaking about for fucking years. Well, and we just watched the second impeachment trial, and I watched it right from day one to the final acquittal day, and I gotta tell you, that was fucking embarrassing. Embarrassing, man. It was fucking pathetic and embarrassing for the House managers. Trump's team didn't even break a fucking sweat. Everybody's up there and they're on the media going, oh, you fought hard. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They looked up a couple of laws and look, it says it right there. They can't do this. Look, it says it right there. They can't do this. Look, they didn't give them the fucking proper fucking time plan for the fucking court case. And look, can't do this. It's in law. So it doesn't matter how many Democrats think they should fucking do it, because the Republicans at least follow the fucking law. And sorry, but if that's the rules, the House rules, and if that's the law, then it doesn't matter what we think. We have to abide by the fucking rules and law. And the American people were watching. That was a smart move for their lawyers to point that out, because it's true. Millions upon millions of Americans were watching. And not even just Americans, Canadians, Australians. This was a moment. And he pointed it out perfectly. This is a moment where we're going to show everyone, the real people that are watching at home right now, how corrupt you really are. So it's either you're going to obey by the law, like you demand them, or you're going to fucking prove to them right here and now you're nothing but a piece of shit, corrupt politician. He didn't say those words, but it was basically what it was. Kudos to the Trump team, man. Holy shit. And I don't think they broke a sweat. It was they saw the actual fucking rules and laws, and it was like, this is a shut down deal case. That's what, and you can see it in the way they were more expressing their own opinions in there than they were even caring about the fucking trial, because he even said it in a courtroom. That video that the fucking House managers used wouldn't be allowed. That's why they jumped the whole fucking process, because they knew that none of that evidence would be allowed. So anyways, that's the whole fucking thing about Trump. So guys, don't worry. Sit back, kick up your feet, let Trump take his breather, because he really does need it after the 4 years he just went through. Ding ding for round 3, motherfuckers. It is coming soon. And guess what? It's not just going to end with him, because sources have also told me that Don Jr. and another one of his kids, Ivanka, it was brought up. I don't think Ivanka was really into it, for what I was told, but Don Jr., I don't think anybody wouldn't mind seeing him as a fucking president. Just saying. So back to Canada. It's like I keep saying to everybody, how does it feel? You're all red men now. You're all red women now. There is no white man, black man, yellow man, purple man, green man, blue man, whatever the fuck man. You're all red now. For too many years, you sided with the Native American, and with Wet'suwet'en. What happened here? Now let me break down the psychology of this. What happened with this is you didn't just shut down the trains and the economy and stuff like that. This goes deeper than that, because what Canadians showed was that the majority of Canadians stood with the Aboriginals. The majority of Canadians were protesting against their government, and therefore, right now today, any and all persons who were involved in that are treated as red men. And that, to them, they can't really count all the people, right? But they know the people of Canada stand with my people of the nations. So therefore, you're now going to be treated just like us. You're now going to be fucking regulated and fucking hounded and watched over like a mommy and daddy. just like us. So enjoy, because we've been putting up with it for years. I'm pretty sure you can put up with it for a little bit. No? Not fucking very fun, is it? It's not nice what they're doing, huh? It's not the way the government's supposed to be run. Okay? It's just not. Sorry, I'm going to finish my joint. But it's just not the way the government's supposed to be run. The government's supposed to be there to help us, to make our lives easier. If you want to be a doctor, it's their job to step in and make sure every path is possible for you to become that fucking doctor you want to be. You want to be a football player? Then it's the government's job to step in and fucking guide your path to that ability, to be able to at least attempt at that dream. It's not to play your mommy and daddy, folks. It's not to treat you between red man, black man, blue man, yellow man, green man, French, English, Spanish, fucking whatever, German, Russian, fucking, it doesn't matter, guys. It's like I say in my previous video. We're just like mushrooms. We're just like trees. We're just like fish. We're just like dogs. We're just like fucking every fucking species on this planet. We're a species. Human, the word human was created by humans. But in actuality, we're not humans. We're a species. And there's many different types of the same species, as we know throughout nature. Look at trees, look at mushrooms, look at snakes, look at frogs, look at fucking everything that you can think of from this planet, which we're from too. That's why you can find tree gene in us and kangaroo gene in us and all this. Why, folks? But anyways, let me continue. Species. We're a fucking species. So I'm a different kind of mushroom. You're a different kind of mushroom. That black person beside you is just simply a different kind of mushroom. That's it. That's all. Use trees as an example. Use fish as an example. Use whales as an example. Use sharks as an example. It doesn't matter what you use. Spiders, ants. Doesn't matter. There's always the same species, but different species, or subspecies, if you will, of that species. So it doesn't matter. Race doesn't exist. All this shit, and that's what the government is feeding off of. That's what the media feeds off of, is this narrative that it does exist. That this narrative that we have to feel this way because it does exist. No, it doesn't exist. Hatred exists. Love exists. Happiness exists. Racism, all this shit, this stuff that they use to divide us, sexuality, what your preferences are, and all this shit, that's a tool they use to divide us. The media's in on it too. The media's been bought by Canada for fucking years, man. All the incentives they get and all the fucking bailouts and oh yeah, man, we've been owning our media here for years within the government system. That has to come to an end. Someone has to chop that block. There should be no ties between the government of Canada and the fucking company itself. Period. We should not own a stake in it. We should not own shares in it. We should not own a percentage of it. We shouldn't receive money from it unless it's through taxes like every other fucking company. And that's it. We should have no hand in our media whatsoever. Because then, is it really media? Or is it just another TV show? So these are the things I think about on a regular basis. I just don't understand these things. These are the things that we need to put back straight. Because then once we get these back straight, we can focus on the more important things, like advancing our educational system, advancing our fucking infrastructure, advancing our fucking healthcare, advancing our foreign affairs, advancing our fucking treaty rights between our fucking nations and Canada. And that's another thing, my brothers and sisters on the nations. We gotta stop blaming fucking Canadians for what's taking place. It's not them, it's the fucking government. If you notice, even during the Wet'suwet'en fucking strike, there was Canadians protesting against our protests. Why? They weren't protesting because we were fucking with their lives. They were protesting because we were wasting their fucking tax dollars on this protest. We're not wasting it. That's the problem. The government's wasting it. We didn't tell you guys to fucking come fuck with us. Your government did. Not you, the Canadian people, not us on the nations. I'm both, so it doesn't matter. What am I? Where do I stand in all this? Well, I stand for peace, man, and moving forward together. Well, in order to do that, we need to do one of two things. One, we got to stop the RCMP and the OPP being allowed to be used as mercenaries and being rented out to these fucking corporations. It cannot happen no longer, no more. They're there to uphold the law. They're there to protect children. They're there to protect the elders. They're there to protect you and me. They're not there to play fucking bully between nations. They're not a military. And they're not mercenaries. At least they're not supposed to be. So we need someone to step in who's going to put a stop to that. There, boom, there goes the tax dollars never being wasted again on fucking protests. Guess what? Canadians are now going to be happy. You'll never see a protest from them about our protest. They're just tired of all their tax dollars, and it's a lot, going towards these fucking protests that to the cops and everything. Not to us, but to the cops and shit. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm not putting that on us. Again, that's the government. That's their action, not ours. We're standing within our territory. We're not fucking with anything as long as it's in our turf. That's it. That's all. You have to go by our fucking laws. Just like if we come on to Canada, it's the same fucking concept. Or if you go to Russia, or if you go to America, or if you go to France, or if you go to Germany, or if you go to Australia, or if you go to Japan, you're not going to follow Canadian laws there. You're going to follow their laws, and you're going to be respectful of it. Otherwise, you're going to fucking jail. Why should that be any different between our two nations? Turtle Island and Canada, the United States. Why should there be any difference between that? There should be the same respect. That's all we ask. That's why we stay on our fucking turf. We don't fucking cross that line. But your government sends those cops, those mercenaries, across the fucking line and onto our turf, and it ends up being a fucking brawl. That's where your money's going. And my brothers and sisters of the nations, you can't blame the fucking Canadian people for being mad about where their money's going. But my brothers and sisters throughout Canada, you have to understand it's the government you should be yelling at. It's the government you should be screaming at, saying, stop fucking allowing this shit to happen. Let the corporate fucking people who are in charge of this company go to the nation and make a fucking deal like anyone else. If they can't make a deal, move on. Plan a different route. Don't fucking use taxpayers' dollars to enforce corporation fucking greed, because that's what it is. They want to make their money, and okay, you make your money, we're fine with that, but we want to make money too. And since you're going to come through our fucking land and take our fucking oil and our resources, we want a cut of that too. It's common sense, folks. But we're allowing the government here in Canada to divide us, to keep us apart, keep it separate. And it's just like that when it comes to race or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I call it speciesism. It's where you have a hatred towards a different type of species of this. Because why you hate, that's an image of you as something you hate. So therefore you hate this person for this color or whatever. But it's just hate. It's not racism, it's not separatism, it's just if you hate someone for their language, it's just fucking hate. It's all it is. You're a hateful, fucking spiteful person. That's it. Man, got my blood boiling. I gotta have another cigarette. So anyways, fuck man, we gotta stop allowing these people in the government who think this way. This is what you consider the standard. They think this way. That this is all the way it's supposed to go. You can't honestly sit here and tell me as a human fucking being, as a fucking species on this one ball of fucking earth we have. Unless you have a planet you're visiting and no one knows about, then okay. But there's one fucking planet we have. You can't tell me that any of that makes any common sense, that their way is the right way to go. That's the standard to run the fucking government, to be able to help me and you, the everyday people who actually worry about their bills, who actually worry about their kids' education, who actually worry about the long wait times that we have to fucking suffer through in order to get to a fucking doctor. Yet these politicians, who also come from billionaire fucking families, can just walk into the hospital and they're rushed right into a room and a doctor's brought right in. It's not fucking fair. But there are politicians, yeah, that's right, there are leaders. They should be ready to sacrifice if it means making sure their people come first. That's a real leader. A real leader considers these things, considers the outcome before he even enacts them. The governments that we've been dealing with for years, doesn't matter if it's conservative, NDP, liberal, whatever, it's always been the same. About them. About getting that nice big paycheck even bigger. Now look, Trudeau. A billionaire baby fucking makes over $6,000 a week off our blood and sweat and tears. And yes, you can throw in anxiety, depression, and fucking stress, and because that all comes with the natural life that we're all trying to live together, paying the bills, paying the finances, paying the loans, paying off everything, making sure you have everything for your kids and yourselves, and a roof over your head, a job. You know, like these are the things that, but, and you people, and I'm going to take some time to talk about this. This is really pissing me off, going online, going outside and hearing people cry about fucking immigrants. Listen here, immigrants, because you're all fucking immigrants. Doesn't matter if you're born here. You're only born here because of your ancestor who fucking stole this land, who fucking raped and murdered my fucking family, or my ancestors, really. And my grandmother was one of the people who was taken from her tribe and put into a fucking Catholic school. So I know. And you guys got to stop with this shit, okay? When are they going to be welcomed? When is someone going to be able to walk on this land, come from another land, walk on this land, okay? And I want you to listen fucking closely because I'm getting tired of this shit. When are they going to be allowed to come over here and just be welcome? I don't care if they create jobs. I don't care if they're on a welfare system. I don't give a fuck, man. When are they going to be welcome? Is it when they rape your kids? Is it going to be when they rape your wife or your husband in front of you? Or they murder any one of them? Or when they go after your elders? Huh? Is that when they're going to be accepted? Oh, you did all that? Okay, now you can call yourself Canadian? Is that what it really means to be a Canadian? We can't just fucking have people come here and just fucking live peacefully. No, you gotta fucking harass them. Fucking immigrants, they can stop the immigrants from coming over. No, that's how you fucking ended up being born here. Why would you stop that? The whole reason why you can call yourself a fucking Canadian is because of immigration. No, I'm not saying we shouldn't have we gotta make sure good people come here and everything. I'm not against borders and stuff like that. I think that we do need to make sure that people coming here aren't coming here for nefarious reasons. I do agree with that. But what I don't agree with is people fucking online bashing immigrants. When the whole system that's here right now, everything that we have, the tables, the fucking houses, the cars, it's all immigration, guys. We didn't create that, the people from the nations. So then who created it? If the people who were here didn't create the fucking items, who created it? Oh, the people that came over, right? Because you guys came over, or your ancestors came over, this is now we have all this. So I mean, maybe next time before you go online and you complain about fucking immigrants coming here and this and that, just remember, they're not coming here, they're not raping anyone, they're not murdering anyone, they're not torturing anyone, they're not handing out diseases like it's fucking candy. They're coming here peacefully. Most of them create jobs. Most of them go right to work at the jobs that no one else wants to fucking do, and they go right to fucking work. Yeah, I'm not saying every one of them is fucking perfect. It's just like not every Canadian's perfect, not every Turtle Islander is perfect, not every American's perfect, not every fucking... You have assholes in every fucking group. Every race, color, creed, whatever the fucking imaginary word you want to use to fucking divide us. Okay? Goes across the board. There's assholes in every fucking creed. So how about we just accept that fact? Okay? And let's just move on and stop using words of division. Because we gotta remember, folks, words, it's imaginary. We made this shit up. Shit. That word alone, everything I just said, everything I just said there, everything I'm just saying now, it's all fucking made up. Gotta remember this, folks. What we need to focus on is our education right now. What we need to focus on is Canadians right now. Look, if we have a tree, a big, massive, beautiful tree, that's what Canada is. That's what we represent. This big, beautiful world tree. You call it that if you want. It branches out to all the fucking other countries. We fucking got deals and everything going on with all the other countries. It branches right out. It's fucking beautiful. But what happens if you don't take care of the base, the root, what holds up the fucking beautiful tree? It becomes weak and it crashes to the ground. For years and years we've created this beautiful and nourished it. This beautiful tree that reaches out to all square inches of this fucking beautiful planet we have. But we've neglected the base. that's going to come crashing down on top of us. Right now, what Canada needs to do because of COVID, because of all the things the governments are doing that's now corrupt, that's just going to serve their own fucking greedy pockets, and fuck us as Canadians, and fuck us as Turtle Islanders, both sides, it's going to fuck us over. We need someone to get in there who's going to take care of the base, water the base, give the base nutrients. And by base, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about the kids. I'm talking about our fucking elders here across this land. Doesn't matter if you're from Turtle Island or if you're from fucking Canada. We need someone who's going to nourish the Canadian seed, the Canadian roots, as well as the fucking Turtle Island roots and seeds. And instead of having this division between the two of us, we need to come together. And my brothers and sisters throughout the nations, before we complain about anything else that fucking the rest of the world's doing, that some cartoon character on a fucking t-shirt, okay? We have poverty. We have drug abuse. We have alcohol abuse. We have gangs. We need jobs for our young. We need more opportunities for our young. We need to come together, put our differences aside, and work as one unit. For years, the Canadian system, American system, been picking us off one at a time, not the people. I'm talking about the government, okay? The corrupt fucking politicians. Not the people who actually give a shit about each other, right? We do care about each other. I don't care what anybody says, but politicians keep that division. So these motherfuckers, okay, for years have been picking us off. But if we were to come together like Tecumseh, like Sitting Bull, like all these White Buffalo, all these great people who've spoken these words, said the same thing. We have to come together. I'm not saying forget about your history. I'm not saying forget about your language. I'm not saying forget about who we are as individuals. What I'm saying is we do have to come together. We're in a modern time. We have to modernize. Not for our sake. Not for our elders' sake. For too long we've allowed them to keep us in the past, while our children scream to reach out to the future. Well, it's time that we put our shit aside. We come together as one nation, Turtle Island, that's what we'll call it. Mohawk, Cree, across the board, America's, all you down in the south, up here in the north, we got to come together to create one nation. Work together, create a federal government if you want to call it that, I don't care. A unified government where all the great chiefs of all the tribes come together and they have this big meeting where they deliberate the money and make sure everybody gets what they need and has what they need and create jobs for our people. And it's about time we move forward into the future for ourselves and for the sake of our children. Enough of the division between ourselves as well. It's time that we unite. It's time that we sit down and we have real discussions about infrastructure, about fucking foreign affairs, about foreign trade, about fucking creating jobs, about I already said education, healthcare, all these things. We need to really sit down and focus on what we need to do to finally come together and create a country of our own, just like Tecumseh tried all those years ago. Now, I'm not saying I'm leader material or anything, but I'm just saying there's someone out there who would be leader material, where all the nations would take a vote on who, out of all these candidates from any nation can have a candidate, and we have them go into there, do a vote just like they would anywhere else in the fucking world, man. It's time we modernize our people. It's time we create jobs and money and a source of income for our families and improve all these areas that we are very much lacking in. Like our home fucking upkeeps. Things that we really need to focus on, and we need someone to sit down and actually bring the minds together to create this. Because we do have to come together. Otherwise, they're just going to keep picking us off one by one by one by one. And I'm pretty sure, like me, you're all sick of it too. So, to my Canadian brothers and sisters, if you don't know anyone, if you do know someone, mark their name, skip by theirs, fucking write it, make the box, check it, don't fucking sign theirs. Let's send a message to our government that we are done with their fucking tyrannical, fucking draconial fucking method of ruling. Let's get me in charge, and let's see what happens with gun rights when I'm in charge, because I think it's about time that Canada goes back to the Canadian Bill of Rights and the Constitution and all that, and what it actually states we're allowed and what we're not allowed. I think we've gone too far into the mommy daddy's role, and I think it's about time we go back to Canadians being allowed to have a fucking gun if they decide to have one. Anyways, that's my rant for today, guys. A couple things I want to touch ground on. If you don't know anyone, write my name down, make that box and check it, and let's fucking put things right in our government. And let's take back control. The peasants. Have a good day.